Slowly but surely, there we go. Alright. Welcome back, everybody. Time to get this show on the road once again. And some more Monday night racing in the Internet Motor Racing Championship, season number 11, race 2 of 16. And a little change of plans. It was originally going to be Auto Club. Instead, we're heading off to Pure, Michigan. A little bit of a glitch that I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I think that Blake probably knows a little more about that than me. Because they're running a bit behind, they are running qualifying right now, and then after qualifying, they will go straight to the race. Big field on tap for tonight. A lot of things that can happen, and I believe 80 laps scheduled for tonight. Joining me though, as I said, Blake Warren back in the booth once again. So awesome to have you, man.
Thank you for having me. I was going to run this race, didn't feel comfortable safety-wise running the track, didn't want to get in trouble, so here I am tonight.
And always good having you up here, man, and returning from last week, this time not against his will, Seth Cole back once again.
Yeah, not going to take a chance on an FRN car or a Pigeon Racing engine, but yeah, great to be here. But I feel bad for these drivers. I mean, they came into this weekend prepared to take to a 2-mile speedway / super speedway in Auto Club, and now they're throwing a curveball. They're at a 2-mile speedway / super speedway in Michigan. I mean, what the heck, man?
Well, I mean, what can you say? Apples to apples.
Radius, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
True.
I was gonna say this version is gonna be a lot more, at least based on what Blake was saying, because he was running a lot of laps in practice. A lot more inside line dominant. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. The way that the car felt is when you were initially coming out of the pits and everything like that, the back end would want to slide because the tires were not up to temperature. But once you got those tires up to temp, the best and worst way to describe it is the track and the car felt like you were on a sled. But that sled isn't taking you through the corner, it's wanting to send you into the outside wall and enginite. So it didn't really feel the most comfortable, but I'm sure that a lot of people will be able to figure it out tonight as we run this race.
Well, it's going to be a big balancing act. Go ahead there, Seth.
I was just going to say, just playing off what Blake was saying there too, something else I observed in practice was I also noticed drivers having a little bit of difficulty with the car pushing up with that right front starting to heat up on the inside line. And I don't know if it's necessarily the drivers that tried to run the outside line are trying to pinch the inside line down, but I saw even when drivers were trying to bail out of the throttle to avoid the car driving straight up the track, they were having difficulty with that. So I think spacing might be a big issue for drivers here this evening as well.
It's going to be some tight neck racing for sure, and especially with a huge field like this. I mean, it was maybe, like 14, 15 guys last season when this was the penultimate race. This time around, we're knocking on 30 once again. After last week, really big field. This time we got a few more new faces. We're going to go down the list here in just a moment. A lot of guys from another league. Kind of crossing over with IMRC here. It's great to see everyone out here on track. It's always good to see these big fields. Right now, though, the 69 of Robbie Gilvin looking good on pole position. I just realized I should probably get on and off track. There we go. So I don't hold anything up. I'm going to run down the order as I see it here because we have a lot of names to cover here. Let's see, Robbie Gilvin looks like he'll be starting on pole in the 69, sponsored by Viagra, so nice one there. Had to call that out. Last week's winner, Jeff Dixon in second, and then Don LaPrade and Alexander Gonzalez, Shane Sides and Jovan Anderson. Look for Jovan to have a good run here tonight. Noah Dagenhart and Cody Lamas, and then Liam Tingley and Chris Emery will officially be the top 10 as qualifying wraps up. Zach, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I may take over the next round, Zach Rogers, Benjamin White, Chris Wetz, William Goss, Dejan Weeks, Natana Muedo, Nicholas Podomic, my apologies, Ashton Champton,
It's
Henry
champion.
Nova, Tristan Allen, your top 11 through 20.
You may take the rest, Seth.
Yeah, and then you got Nick Gunther. He's qualified 21st. Mitch Hobbs going to line up in 22nd. Cole Baker and new driver Connor Bloom are going to make up the top 24. They were the only drivers left to take time. Other drivers that elected not to take time, they'll be starting towards the rear of the field. 25th, Felipe Teixeira. Jerem Lewis in 26th. 27th is going to be Austin Delgado. And bringing up the final spot in 28th is going to be David Alvarez in the 68. So officially 28 drivers going to take the green flag here tonight. As you alluded to, Andrew, last season only 15 drivers took the green flag in the IMRC Season 10 Michigan race.
And 28 this time around. So it is going to be a whole different beast. As we get the command.
Yep, we got the command.
The entire race last season with that smaller field went caution free. I can't imagine tonight would be the same, but you never know.
I think with a combination of new drivers and, an unexpected change in track, I would say that we could maybe see about 3 to 4 cautions, but overall some really good racing here tonight.
I remember the fact, too, that last season, and it was supposed to be this season as well, Michigan was going to be the penultimate race of the season to kind of determine the drivers to battle for the championship the following week at Homestead. Now taking the second slot on the schedule, not as much on the line for these drivers with the exception of a chance to lock yourself into the playoffs. So I think the racing might be more aggressive now than where Michigan originally was going to be on the schedule.
That's true, and also, of course, that raises the question mark of if this will be the track that will be the penultimate race next time out, which could also throw some curveballs out. But right now we are underway at Michigan. 28 cars for 80 laps.
And Dunlaprad's going to charge down to the inside. He's going to take the lead from Robbie Gilvin. His car has bounced off the outside wall, but thankfully keep it all together.
That was a lot of bouncing there. We're 3 wide further back in the field. Ooh, man, I'm looking at Jovan Anderson. He has dropped like a stone here. He's fallen outside the top 20 after starting in 6th.
He had Mitch Hobbs in the middle of that 3-wide situation, Nick Gunther on the bottom. I think right now Jovan Anderson being trapped in that top side was just trying to get out of Dodge.
Yeah, it's a little crazy right now, but we make it through the first lap. Couple guys with some pancaked right sides, but we keep it going straight. Dunlaprad with the lead ahead of the 69 Gilvin. Then Shane Sides and Jeff Dixon.
We got a wreck, and we're going to be having a restart. So
Restart
expect death over in 3.
oh, God.
Looks like a pinata exploding.
Probably 10 pinatas.
Candy for everyone.
Oh! Jeremy Lewis flying through there.
Candy if it was composed of motor oil, engine parts, and tires.
My favorite kind.
Yummy. Where do I sign up? Oh, man. The IMRC, gotta love it. Memes are made here.
So since they're going to take another half lap of pacing here, I'll just quickly answer the question you brought up there before we went green about where Michigan's going to be for the remainder of the schedule. Will it be coming back for that 14th and final race? Ended up hearing in a driver's meeting, no. This is going to be the one and only Michigan race on the season. Not certain if the Auto Club glitch gets fixed between now and the next to last race on the season, if maybe Auto Club and Michigan will just switch spots on the schedule or not, but this is the only time that they will be at Michigan here during the course of this season 11 schedule.
Ooh, okay. Spicy. I like it.
The other piece doesn't necessarily mean that Auto Club is now going to become the penultimate race, but it'll just be moved further down the schedule at eventual point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if I recall correctly, I think they were having some kind of an issue with Auto Club even last season. I might be wrong on that, but I think they were.
Where do we start the petition? Make the penultimate race be Bone Crusher.
Yeah! I will start that right here.
Bone Crusher, no damage. Let's do it.
That is probably when we lose all respect for the series and is a shell of its former self. It is IROC in 2004.
Look, I run a series where we go to Mount Buchanos, so, you know.
I was gonna say, you go to some interesting tracks in your series.
Yeah. Keep them on their toes.
Like wasn't there a Martinsville road course that he went to?
Martinsville Road Course, Richmond Corkscrew. We're going to be going to New Hampshire Super Speedway in a couple of weeks.
What? I mean, hey, if y'all are interested in the weirdness that you're hearing, go check out the NNSCRA Next Gen series, right? That's what that is.
Call it weirdness. That's putting it mildly. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
But yes, that
final
is the
attempt here.
series. Yep.
And if they wreck here, well, it is what it is. We're back to racing once again. That outside just was not the place to be on that initial start. We'll see what's going to happen this time. Jeff Dixon with a better start.
Dixon last week on winner at Talladega, probably trying to flex those muscles and show not only does he belong here, but he's definitely not a one-trick pony.
No,
probably the guy that comes into this race with the biggest weight off his shoulders, because he's just got to basically run out the rest of this schedule, and he's already got himself a locked-up spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair. Obviously, Jovan Anderson, a little better start this time around. Nearly 3 wide off of turn 4 there, and maybe, Chris Emery in the 52 backing out of that. Cody Lamas in that really good-looking Carvana car there. That sounded redundant, but Chris Wetz on the inside. And checking on through the field here. Everyone looking pretty clean. A lot more spread out this time. Mitch Hobbs has dropped off the field in the 89. Other than that, pretty clean. A little bump draft from Jeff Dixon to the 25. That's an interesting strategy call there.
Definitely it is. Back deep into the field, Benjamin White in the 38 machine, trying to kind of get out of the way as the 32 of Ashton Champion makes a move on the inside there. I think he's just trying to kind of ease it in there and hope he can be able to keep on running.
Like we already touched on the fact that as we get longer into the run, these drivers' cars are going to tighten up with that right front tire heat continuing to increase. One thing they also experienced out there, and I'm sure you did too, is when you're running in somebody's wake, that aero tightness, especially from the center of the corner off. A lot of these guys running in single file formation right now are going to have to back that throttle down a lot more than they're used to make sure that they don't run up into that outside wall.
Yeah, that is very much true. Certainly getting the wake down the front and back straightaway, that's definitely going to help, and it's actually pretty fun when you're running there, but you got to keep your distance or at least know what the car is going to do when you hurl it off into the corner. Robbie Gilbert almost hits the 25 of Dunlop Pratt, but straightens it back out, and we got a tight side-by-side battle for the lead.
And a little side-by-side throughout most of the field. Good to see the outside lane is also working out pretty well. But Dunlop Pratt, after the first go-around, it took him a little longer to take the lead this time. But he gets there now. Might bring Jeff Dixon with him for second. And Jovan Anderson on the move now. Got by the 63 and now looking to get by Noah Degenhart. That is for a top 5. Looks like he will complete that move. Oh, boys, they're getting awfully tight. Oh, contact made!
Contact!
Shane sides Jeff Dixon spinning out. That will probably count as contact and a caution.
That is going to be the yellow. But here's what I'm surprised by and so happy with. My goodness, no one died in that inside wall. The 24 held it. The 14 held it. Maybe a minor scratch onto the inside wall for the 14. And a flat tire, but otherwise, like, no serious impact.
Little left front contact for the 14 of Dixon, but really nothing that I think is going to take him out of this race. And yeah, you're right. Thank goodness we've got so much runoff there on the inside of the back straightaway. And both drivers did a heck of a job getting those cars turned back to the right so that way the forward momentum didn't shoot them straight down to the inside wall.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty ugly day if they had both kept down that path. A great drift there by the 24. I couldn't help but notice when I was checking through the field there that the 89 of Mitch Hobbs actually had a ton of damage on the left side, which is pretty unusual. Oh yeah, actually a little harder hit to the outside wall there as Dixon was coming back up the track. I imagine that is Jeff Scott in the chat. Oh my goodness.
Now, believe it or not, You would wonder if the incident was the fault of either one of those drivers. In all honesty, it actually started with the second place car of Robbie Gilvin. Got a little too high there off of turn 2, bounced off the wall, and then Jeff Dixon, in reaction to that, tried turning down to the inside. I think that the 69 and the 14 might have bumper grabbed just a little bit, and that set the 14 off the nose of the 24.
Man, that's a tough one to say there. Yeah, it's like you said, because the 69 probably had to get out of the throttle a little bit to miss the wall. The 14 looked like he was maybe, his rear end was maybe wanting to come out a little bit. And I think the 24 was just kind of collected there. So, I'm with you. I would have a hard time really pinning that on anybody.
Just no time to react. When you're that car, when you're Dixon and you see that Gilvin's going to get the wall, you want to lift instinctually, but you've got Shane Size directly behind you. So you can't lift too much, or else you're the one that's going to get run over. It's a really difficult position when you've got such tight corners like you do here at Michigan.
And with this many cars bunched that close together, just like you said, it's a tough one to call. It's 89.
I love it. I love it. That's my way of exiting pit road too.
Oh, he's going to take the lead with that move. I don't know if it's legal, but well, we've seen it in the lights race before, so I guess it's going to count. I don't know if that was 2 tires, but
it's a controversial move, but it is entirely legal.
Oh man. And yep, this is live. I can see everyone in the chat there. This is not a premiere. This is currently happening. Looks like Jeff Dixon is dropping back, so I guess that means that he's going to be taking the claim.
You hit the nail right. Oh, good.
I was just going to say, it was agreed upon that it was a racing deal. I think that Dixon is just a little remorseful over it, so drop into the back in the process.
I know the feeling. So Noah Dagenhart.
You hit the nail right on the head there, Andrew. 2-tire stop for Dagenhart Jr.
Alrighty, so that puts the iBuyPower Toyota, I think I have that right, into the race lead ahead of the 25, the 69 of Gilvin, and then Jovan Anderson and Zach Rogers, who definitely knows how to get it done in these NR races, currently running in the 5th position. And this is going to be our first time seeing the choose cone this season. So, as it's been probably beat to death at this point, you could easily be in like 4th or 5th place, and the next thing you know, you're second because everyone else chose the inside here. But it's going to be interesting to see how the choosing of which line you want to be in is going to affect the outcome of this race. Looks like the 87 is actually going to go for the outside.
And it looks to be pretty clean in terms of drivers picking their item, picking their lines.
Doesn't look like it changed much for the top 10 there. Didn't really see anybody choose a different lane than where they were originally going to line up. Maybe inverting the outside and the inside line, but for the most part, pretty much where everybody would have lined up anyway if we had doubled them up regularly.
Looks like a number of guys toward the back are choosing the outside, so that's going to move up a couple of cars there. The 68 David Alvarez, good to see him back on track. Old friend that I used to run with in another smaller league. There's Connor Bloom in the 9. Might also pick up some spots here. And Shane Sides, going to be interesting to see just how aggressive he's going to be to try to get up to the front on this run here. As the same thing with the 14. As the field going to be going green this time with the 25 and the 87 side by side. Going to be a great chance to see what Noah Dagenhart can do at the very front, a place that he hasn't been too often, but he knows how to get it going though.
And he does, as the drivers head out of turn 4, down past where pit lane entrance is. And here we go as they approach the line. Green flag is going to wave once more here at Michigan.
Start finish line. There it is. And off we go. A little bit of a stack up there in the inside line, but they're going to keep it going here. A great shove to the 25. He's going to take him up to the lead. Liam Tingley in the 03, a little squirrely.
Ooh. Someone up in the wall back there. Oh, we got a spinner back. Jerm Lewis.
Oh, another spinner
into the field.
Chris Emery has also spun, or almost spun. He has not fully gone around. If that's not contact, then we will keep it going.
There is no mention of a yellow flag, so it looks like the 22 self-spun and the 52 had something else happen in a reaction and then managed to save it. 22 has retired. Jim Lewis is the first retirement of tonight's race.
Don't know how much damage he might have gotten, but the 67 of Nicholas Budlenlick, he actually went way up the track and hit the wall in 1 and 2 there as well on that restart lap.
So, man, like you were saying, with cold tires, though, that seems to be the real kicker as far as trying to keep it pointed in a straight line on these restarts. I mean, once they get going, it will help settle down, but then as it goes on, it's just going to tighten up some more. So we'll see how long this run goes. That was about a 5-6 lap run the first go around. Before that caution, they pretty much ganged up on the 87, who it actually looks like is struggling a little bit on those 2 tires. Trying to hold off Natan Amorino has found his way up to 6th all of a sudden with Alexander Gonzalez in 7th. Liam Tingley's dropped back a little bit, but pretty orderly and pulling away are the top 4. Battle's going on behind them, 5th on back.
I found it interesting too because before we came on the air, Blake, you alluded to the fact that pretty much nothing changed from this Michigan race to last year's Michigan race. The cars, the setup, the track, everything exactly the same. And I was looking at last year's results. 3 of the drivers that finished in the top 5 last season are in the field here today. And those 3 are all run up inside the top 5. Dunlap Pratt finished 3rd here a year ago. He's leading the race. Jovan Anderson was the runner-up. He's running in 2nd. And Natan Amiedo, who was 4th last season, just moved up into the top 5.
Got some spin marks there in turns 3 and 4. Don't see who that is. I'm guessing it was the 38 of Benjamin White, who is also retired.
I just checked now. He got loose, slid up the racetrack, hit the outside wall, recovered, and then spun again, and his day is over.
Oh, man. Just like that. 2 retirees just pretty much voluntarily saying, like, all right, I'm not going to have any more of this kind of fun for tonight.
Let's pack it up. We'll go to race 3.
Yep, which is Las Vegas, if I'm not mistaken.
Is indeed, and yeah, I think the thing that happened there with the 38 is once you spin, those rear tires are heated up so much that once you get the car going again, you've got little to no grip the next lap and a half, and loops it around again. It's such a helpless feeling for a driver, and so apparently there for Benjamin White, as Blake alluded to, just pack it up early, don't put yourself through the stress.
Oh boy, just caught a glimpse of almost a moment there between Ashton Champion and David Alvarez. That's about 14th through 16th there. Felipe Teixeira coming through there a little bit. Just trying to shed the spotlight a little bit on some of these midfielders. Oh my gosh. But moving up slowly is Shane Sides. Not very quickly, just kind of sticking there. Currently 17th. Jeff Dixon 22nd. I imagine that in addition to the cars wanting to push up more and more, that also is going to mean that passing as the run goes on is going to get more and more difficult.
Settling into a nice little long green flag run here, however. Drivers doing a good job of giving space, minding their P's and Q's. So we may end up seeing pit road come into play at some point. But when we go into long green flag lulls, I start thinking of really random thoughts. So I'm going to ask the both of you here. In the case of the guy we see making his first start here tonight, that 32, who's probably going to have a very short post-race interview and thanking his sponsors. Ashton Champion, I mean, what does it feel like when you go into every new league already knowing that you're a champion? Oh, no, I jinxed him! I'm shutting up. I'm not talking about any more drivers. Moving on.
All things considered, he did a good job at not completely killing the car, but it is wounded. That passenger door is dented like it was hit by a truck.
Oh man, I'm just
Who
gonna.
would you like me to jinx next? Tell us in the comments below. Good lord.
Who do you have a vendetta against in this league? I'm just gonna.
Death Note.
I know. It's like a fortune teller.
We're gonna turn you down just a bit. I turned you up earlier And that was a little loud. So I just sorry everyone if the race froze there for a moment. That was me turning Seth's volume down just a smidge. Oh man, but
Well-
you always find a way, don't you?
I do. I don't know how.
Now, there was one thing that I wanted to say, and I'll do some investigative research on this week, but you mentioned earlier the racing is pretty similar, the track is pretty similar, the cars are similar, the setup's identical, but there's one thing that's really changed this season. Look at all these paint schemes. These are beautiful cars. Some are refreshes from last season, some of them transferred over to this season, and hey, saves a little bit of money in the paint department, but man, oh man, there's some beautiful cars made by so many different people. I gotta figure out who made some of these, because they are awesome. This is something that NASCAR should be doing in general. And we got some good paint schemes in NASCAR too, in fairness.
Oh, something
Tight
just
battle
happened.
for the lead.
I just couldn't help but notice that the 89 looked like he may have gotten into some trouble as well. But I will note that before we got into jinxing people, the 6 tried to make a move underneath the 93 and was not able to make it stick. But yeah, it looks like Anderson maybe starting to just kind of bide his time with the 25. If I had to take a guess, we're probably about 10 laps away, maybe a little less from green flag pit stops. Natan Amrieto is on the move now, has moved up to 4th, getting by the 69. But yeah, this is where whoever can conserve their tires the best, this is where they're going to start to show their hand and show that, hey, I've got the speed right now, you better get out of my way. Or if they're in it for the long game, being that we're only a quarter of the way through the race at this point, do you just sit there behind the guy in front of you so that you don't risk anything, or is track position king?
I mean, if I may interject here real quick, I mean, the way... Oh, we got a caution.
Oh boy, Mitch Hobbs again, and also Connor Bloom in the 9. As of course,
They're approaching too. Look out!
Right as I was mentioning those pit stops, looks like the second round will also be under caution. I saw smoke on the back stretch, and then caution was called. So 9 in the 89 going into it. 89 had already spun, I think, in turn. I think in turns 3 and 4. Yeah.
Turns 3 and 4, lap 18.
Oh.
I got some help.
Yeah.
2.
He bounced off the wall. I think, yeah, that looked like the 67 of Nicholas Dimblick there. Just tried to take a void action, couldn't quite do it. So a little bit of contact was made. Now what happened here with the 89?
He didn't realize the knob was coming back up the track. Apparently.
Oh, goodness.
Still full throttle.
Wow. Yeah, the 9 just going back up to the wall there. The 89 probably not thinking anything of it, and then that's going to be a lot of damage probably on both cars.
Yeah, the 9 was going about 80 miles an hour before he got hit, so...
Oof.
A little bit confused. And obviously different drivers have different methods after they spun out, but a little confused why the 9 of Bloom would actually merge back to the track up to the top side. Normally when you're spun out, you keep it down there to the apron.
I was just thinking that exact same thing. I kind of questioned that move. I guess he didn't realize that there was anyone nearby. I'm not sure.
At the same time, though, if you're the 89, I don't know how you miss a bright blue car on the racing surface. So
yeah,
it's a 50-50 there, but unfortunately, both of them a lot of damage. I'm not certain either one are going to be able to continue after that, because those were some hard shots.
Quite indeed, and here they come down pit road. I guess when you're just running the back there, you're like, oh well, this just happened to me. Oh, this just happened to me. I'm just gonna drive some laps.
All right. That
is some words maybe?
Yeah. So I heard something about the 55 getting like disconnected or something like that. And I went back and looked at the earlier video. He was gone. on from the front stretch until about the back stretch. Absolutely plowed through the 03, the 63,
gracious.
took out the 11. The 63 and the 11 flipped.
Oh,
And coming up through the front, roughly hit the 6 as the 55 was then trying to get position back and then dropped out of the server again. And I don't know if he is coming back.
I'm going to have a look at this here in a moment. Don LaPrado with a slow stop has fallen back to, let's see, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th. No, 6th. Excuse me, I miscounted. And just like that, Jovan Anderson will take the lead. Holy smokes. I'm going to go back really quick and see what happened here. And yes, I am aware that I lagged out myself. I apologize for that. You said he was near the 11?
Yeah, 11, 63, 03. My goodness, I mean, at that point in time, when you see the 55 just kind of drive through everybody, I think at that point, he wasn't actually seeing any of it happening.
Oh.
I think that he was in the process of falling out, and the AI will kind of take over your car for a brief couple of moments before actually officially falling out of the server. The tough break there, though, is that Cole Baker and Andrew Gonzalez, they kept their cars pretty clean the entirety of this race. Now the both of them have sustained pretty good damage. 63's got roof damage. Baker with the flip, not sure just how damaged that car is. I mean, that is a tough break for those guys who just had circumstances not work out in their favor there. No fault of their own.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That is the darndest thing I've ever seen. He just... You're absolutely right that he... wow.
Kind of reminds me of an EXE that one of the drivers, Tyler Mallon, has, where it can actually carry a car forward and not really cause any damage to the car that's doing it. That's what it looked like there. I mean, it just looked like all the other cars had no mass. The 55 did, and he was just muscling them all out of the way. That was one of the strangest things I think I've ever seen as far as connection problems.
I've seen, the only time that I've seen something like that personally was a highlight race that also got to send a shout out to Joe Towahansky, but they were doing a review for a league race, and someone had pretty much the exact same thing happen, and they just kept pushing and pushing a car that was on top of them. It was not the EXE, it was just from them lagging out. But anyways, I just realized we were coming to green here. I was just enthralled by what I was witnessing right there. And looks like LaPrade has gotten back to the outside here and brought Dejon Waits and Cole Baker with him. So just like that, we got Weeks, Baker, and Teixeira here in the top 10.
And here we go across the line. Green flag is going to fly once more.
Oh, stack up! Henry Nova spun around the middle of the pack.
Oh, almost
Caution's
flipping. Tristan Allen around, collects a 63, and the 67 as well.
Big stack up there. Started with the 87 of Dagenhart Jr., and then he got bumper grabbed with the 66 of Henry Nova, who then shot right up in front of traffic, everyone trying to scatter to avoid.
Chris Wett's also there in the grass. So we'll see what happens here as they start to go. And, oh, goodness.
Did he miss a shift there, Blake? It looked like he might have. I think he just didn't start going.
I was paying attention to the 66, but I'll take a look at that and see what exactly happened.
Missed a shift or, yeah, like you said, lost a gear maybe.
That thing just bogged down.
It was going, and then it just went, puh.
I think that there was a little bit of a misshift. I don't remember what the rev range is for rev range / speed, but there was a moment where at about 90 miles an hour, 95, the car goes from second gear into neutral. It's running at 94, then shifts back into second and shoots up to like 115 miles an hour. Oh, it shifted into third gear as well, so I think that that was a delayed shift more than anything, and maybe a little bit of a misshift. We don't know exactly what everyone is using, whether they're using power shifters or H pattern or sequential stick, but or if they're using a keyboard, what that button is bound to. But definitely a shifting issue at some capacity there, and hopefully nothing too serious.
Saving grace there was that it was on a restart. Nobody really up to speed, no hard hits, so I think for the most part everybody should still be good to go. A lot of drivers going to lose some track position though, because I think some probably would have come to pit road to put some fresh tires on.
Yep. Probably more frustration than anything, so.
Probably so, yeah. Looks like, are we going green this time here?
We are indeed going green.
We're going green this time here. Well, let's restart here, and then in a little bit we'll, at his request, we'll hear from Nick Gunther to see exactly what happened with his internet to cause one of the more bizarre incidents that I have ever seen in our racing. Things happen though, but Jovan Anderson, Don LaPrade still the front row here. Zach Rogers and reigning champion Dejan Weeks. The second row, we are back to it here at the start-finish line.
And looks like the 87, I think, did drop back, or at least is given room after that misshift. And taking it easy. Went as easy as he can.
Ooh, man, they're all really stacked up here at the front. Anderson with the preferred position can kind of dictate the corner here. But LaPrade doing a great job of holding his own on the outside for the time being. Checking on through the field. Everything looking okay so far.
Yep, all things considered, fairly clean driving right now. Still at the risk of scraping the outside wall, but everything seems to be settled at least a little bit more.
LaPrade with a great run on the outside. Zach Rogers trying to get by him. A even bigger run there by the 69. And just kind of hang back for the time being.
Well, and as I look at it here, we're a couple of laps away from lap 30. So we'll have about 50 laps to go. There is two pieces that I do want to mention here real quick. So Shane Sides, league owner and racer, he lives all the way out in the country of Germany. So he is many, many, many hours ahead of us from the East Coast. He unfortunately has work today, so there is a potential, ironically, similar to yesterday's NASCAR Cup race at New Hampshire, that this race may end up being shortened should he have to leave, only because he does need the export for the standings and the replay file.
Okay, wow. I'm actually kind of surprised that, I think in previous times he's handed off the reins to someone else. Oh man, look at Amoito here with a bit of a dive there underneath the 25. A lot of guys getting loose off the corner.
The good news is I think that we have a whole hour left until that happens, so hopefully the race should be over by then.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. With that note, though, as we continue to log laps here, taking 50 to go officially here. Seth, would you be willing to do me the favor of moving Nick into this room for me?
I'll see if we can talk with him after that tough break there with things out of control with connection issues.
User was moved to your channel.
Yeah, there really wasn't anything that he could do there, but it definitely looked interesting as 69 almost wrecks. Almost 3 wide, and on that note, welcome to the booth. I guess I'll ask you just what happened on your end. It looked strange on our end, but like I said, out of your control.
I'm sure it was. I just saw like the Q bar of the quality. It just goes steadily up, then just stays at the very top where it says red, and everyone disappeared. I mean, I just kept my normal pace speed, so I really can't explain what the hell just happened, but I can only say is I'm sorry to whoever got involved with that. I don't know who I hit. I don't know who I killed.
Well, the good news is it looks like you didn't kill anybody because Cole Baker actually flipped, and now he's running in
I don't give a
6th.
flying fuck what you people think. It's just I'm explaining from my point of view what the hell happened there. It's just a very unfortunate series of events. I mean, this happened to me
Okay.
on Saturday night when I was with the next gen and MSCRA. Having a good race, I felt like I had the car to win the race after saving tires all race long. It's just the internet decided to go, and when I'm looking,
User in your channel timed out.
And it just timed out. And we had some spins here too, actually.
Whoa.
Nine just spun out onto pit road.
I do want to apologize for the way that he started acting there. I did not mean any offense to that. I was actually saying, hey, it all came out okay because the 11's doing fine, but apparently he took offense to that. So apologies for that.
I understand the frustration, but I mean, at the same time, I'm gonna go up against all the iRacing people out there that always take it seriously. We have some people that also take it seriously in NR, and it's just a game. It's not actual championships. It's not actual wins. If you're not in it for the fun of it, why are you even in it? I've had this argument with so many people in the past. It just doesn't seem to do any good. But I run just for the enjoyment of it. If I win, great. But if I'm having fun, that's the bonus.
We're having fun watching him go 3 wide right now. Baker up the middle on Gilman and LaPrade almost into the quarter panel. They keep it straight, but that got a little dicey. And I was just saying, though, that Baker, he was upside down after the deal with the 55 lagging out. And here he is in the top 10 doing fantastically. Also, shout out to William Goss, who's starting to move up here in the 27. All this hard battling is really starting to bunch him up.
All the drivers involved are still on the lead lap and still fairly competitive. The one that might not be completely up to speed is the 63 of Gonzalez, but even he, though, is still on the lead lap. He's got some drafting partners back there, Felipe Teixeira and David Alvarez, so he's still okay.
Yeah, everything's looking good, and Nick, all I'm going to say, if we are going to move you back in here, dude, I meant no offense. If anything, I was just saying, hey, everything came out okay. The way that you said that on my stream that I really didn't want, I did not appreciate that, dude. Just bear that in mind. Just had to get that out there. Apologies for that. We're on lap 37 coming here. Zach Rogers diving down. Trying to maybe cut the draft a little bit, or maybe trying to get a little closer to Anderson's rear bumper. But he knows the 36 is coming and coming quick.
All right, so let's talk about something here that we haven't discussed yet, and we may not get to it, but just in case, the difficulty of getting onto pit road here at Michigan. I didn't actually take any opportunity to see what these drivers are going to be facing. I took a couple of laps in practice, but never tried getting onto pit lane. Blake, you got any idea of what these drivers are going to have to do to make sure they get it down to that pit road speed? Because they're almost turning 200 mile per hour out here on the track.
Oh, I honestly have no idea. I didn't get enough time in the practice to be able to figure out, this is your pit road entry and this is how you do it. So, with how tightly they're packed and everything like that, and the 11 has dropped out of the race, I don't know what we're about to see if we get green flag pit stops.
That's a bit of a surprise, actually, seeing the 11 drop out. Oh, big crossover there by the 36. Not sure, maybe something came up or had something happen to him that we didn't see.
Yeah, it was back on lap 37 coming out of turn 2. Cody Lamas gets a little tight. There was what we now call an iRacing gap whack, where a little bit of a warp wreck sends the 11 up into the outside wall. Pretty good right side damage, and he decided to just bring it down pit road and make the left-hand turn to the garage.
That's a tough break there. He had a good car there and was doing a great job of holding his own up here toward the top. But there you go. Hopefully more luck will come as in future races. 3 wide again. This time it's Dejan Weeks on the inside. Gilman in the Parade, middle and outside.
This makes me nervous with old tires. If it's fresh tires, okay, you got a little bit more grip to work with. But when you got old tires like these guys do and you're taking it 3 wide, man, that really makes me nervous.
Oh, and they're not really yielding that much. There's Shane Sides there looking to maybe get his nose in there. Gilman gets into the wall a little bit. Chris Emery, Jeff Dixon are there as well. Yeah, there you go. 2 guys that caused the first caution of the race. back into the top 10, the 24 and the 14. Or Degenhart coming forward here a little bit. There's Cody Lamas.
The one thing I wanted to say was fresh tires or old tires, nothing feels comfortable running 3 wide here.
I think Gilvin just put Dixon into the wall there. But they keep it straight. We keep it going.
Hopefully it's just much a scratch.
Just a little bit of a scratch. We are now officially at the halfway point of the race. And I'm also going to send a little shout out here to Austin Delgado, who is kind of just quietly lurking just outside the top 10, the 99. First time seeing that name out here on track. I don't think he ran Talladega. But running well right now. Just got past Degenhart for the 12th spot.
I don't believe he did, because I don't remember seeing a 99 in the entry list.
I don't either.
Yeah, you guys have way better memories than me.
Yeah, same.
36 for a second here on Zach Rogers, and he's bringing William Goss with him. Look at Goss, who's making a late charge here. Coming forward, maybe looking to take third.
All 3 of the Scorpios Motorsports cars running really well. Dunlop Ride spent a good portion of the race near the beginning out in front. Shane Sides has made a nice recovery up there into 6th, and Will Goss leading his teammates there in the 4 through 6 train in that 4th position. So all 3 of them having really solid outings right now, but they're the highest running Chevys. You got a Toyota leading and 2 Fords completing the podium at this time.
One shoving the other right now. The Zach Rogers just okay to hang out behind the 36 for the time being. I gotta imagine that pit stop's maybe about 6-7 laps away as it stands. Maybe a little sooner.
Actually just realized it's teammates versus teammates right now. Top 3 are Amiado Performance, and then your 4 through 6 are Scorpio Motorsports. So, oh, look at this. Will Goss trying to break up those teammates. He'll go for 3rd.
Oh man, and yeah, if you can get your quarter panel down there and kind of force that guy in front of you to maybe not quite take the line that he wants, I guess you could almost say take the air off of that spoiler, and he'll just push up right into the wall. So maybe a little bit of a strategy game there by the 27. We'll see what he's going to do in 1 and 2 this go around. Ooh, Rogers actually maybe trying to get by the 36. Like you said, those guys are teammates, along with the 93, despite the difference in manufacturer. They actually jokingly mentioned that last week. Here comes the 6 with a shove from the 27, and the 24 now finding his way into that battle as well.
Yeah, great recovery by Shane Sides from the earlier incident, and yeah, definitely this. Oh dear!
My goodness!
Dear. I was about to say, could potentially have Scorpios pull an inside maneuver and just thought Shane was going to try and push Goss off into the corner a little bit and just get him to power bind a ton. But yeah, things are getting dicey. Things are getting dicey like salsa.
And pit road starting to come into play. Robbie Gilvin and Chris Wetz hit pit road that last time by. The 71 really smoked his front tires trying to get it down to pace speed. Or not pace speed, pit road speed, I should say.
It's 55, I believe, is pit road speed. Everyone stays out here up front. Chris Emery, and there's Delgado moving up. They're now officially in the top 10. Things have calmed down a little bit. And Dejon Weeks still also holding his zone right now, currently running in 6th, but it's going to be coming here very shortly. Whoa, I think the 48 got a little snug. Delgado hits Degenhart gets into the wall a little bit. But man, with how nose to tail that most of them are, I'm scared.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's only so much racetrack, and gonna be honest with you, I know that Dejan is trying to really be careful.
Whoa!
But as we see that move by Chris Emery in the 52, the one thing I was gonna say is there's only so many times where you can have your nose chopped off a little bit by the rear quarter panel when you're trying to both draft and make a pass. And I thought Dejan was starting to get fed up with that, because Thought he was going to potentially try and make a move on Shane and on the risk of wrecking him.
Man, they are making some hard moves up here. Actually, Goss tried the outside line.
Woo!
Might go 3 wide. Oh!
Yeah, they're going 3 wide, and they're going 3 wide fast.
Jeez, I thought the 27 was going to get the 36. Let's move.
Yeah,
And
I
The
think he
fact
let
that
him
the
in.
24 didn't hit the 27 is even more impressive.
Got more pitting this time by Van Anderson,
Oh.
Zach Rogers, Dunn
Oh, boy.
LePred. They're all waving their hands out the window.
oh, here we go. All right, who's going to be able to get it
Actually,
down to
check that.
speed?
The whole field's pitting this time. I'm seeing a lot of hands.
Oh, boy, this is going to be all over the place. Here we go.
Here they go. They dive in. Tight move by the 24. Slide. Probably sped. 27.
Whoa! I think pit road speed begins right there. They're 3 wide on pit road.
Oh, someone's got to back off just a little bit.
Oh.
Gosh, you can't go 3 wide in these pits. It's too tight.
I saw the 24 click over 56 there a little bit. We'll see if that's gonna be
Oh,
a
the
problem for him.
27 overshot his pit stall just a little bit. That's going to hurt his time.
32 spun it coming out of pit road. Ashton Champion.
We're going into pit road.
Yes.
We're coming into
Did
pit road
I
there.
say coming off of pit road? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm dyslexic.
No, I was just really
Oh,
afraid
boy.
we were about to have a
Oh,
massive
my
Got some more
goodness.
guys. Look at Emery.
Lion
Oh,
in there.
Emery, Delgado. There's Lamas and Dixon in there as well. Now
24
here's
and 27
here's Gilvin and Wentz. How much time are they going to make up?
I was wondering about fresh tires versus old tires. Gilvin and Wetz had come in earlier. And they're going to cycle out maybe up inside of the top 5 here. They're going to bypass Dunn LePrad. They're going to get a big run here on Will Goss and Shane Sides. So that short pitting might actually work out to their benefit. They may gain anywhere from 4 to 5 spots of where they were running before they came to pit road.
That might say something for the pit strategy later in the game. I will preface this to those who are just some in chat who have been around my channel for a long time, but maybe haven't seen too many of these streams. These are not AI. This is not the computers driving and people just sign up for it. These are real people, real, like actual racing happening with people controlling these cars.
Don't let them fool you. They're the androids sent by CyberLife.
No, that's me.
Oh, okay.
And Nick, I get you, man. Just for stream's sake, you know. But the frustration is understandable. And it's like I said, it's just something that you can't control. So I get you. Just bear that in mind for future reference. They've caught the 32 here. So lap traffic going to start to maybe come into play as this goes on. Chris Emery, who actually stayed out longer, looks like he's now 3rd. And he stayed out longer than anybody else. So a little mixed bag there with the 69 and 71 making up a ton of ground, but also the 52 making up a couple spots. And those two were on complete opposite ends of the strategy spectrum. So that maybe calls some things into question if maybe clean air is the way to go.
Well, remember how aggressive Emery was getting onto pit road. It is the second line on the entrance to pit lane where the timing actually begins, and I think he maybe came down pit road faster than anybody in terms of getting to that commitment line. So I think that gained him a ton of spots. As far as championship is concerned, or playoffs is concerned, just a little bit of strategy there by Tristan Allen. He stayed out an extra lap and led 1 lap there, but it is going to cost him a bunch of track time. He just made his pit stop, and he is currently in the 19th position. But he's hoping and praying for a caution to bunch everything back up.
I can't remember. Did he say if he was right Twix or left Twix last week?
He said that it was left Twix last week. He says he is actually going to be doing something in relation to that here in the future on the schedule. So I'm very curious and looking forward to whatever that might be.
Oh, as am I. So we're coming to lap 55. It is, as long as this goes the full distance, it is 26 to go. Jovan Anderson leading ahead of Zach Rogers by a pretty slim margin here. A couple good friends there. And then Chris Emery a little ways back, but lapping very quick. Just ran a 5:06 in relation to the .7s that the front two ran. Natan Amoredo behind him in 4th, and then Shane Sides in 5th. Like we said, a great recovery after spinning earlier on. Will Goss is 6th. Then it's Gilvin and Wetz, who are on a slightly different strategy ahead of Dunn LaPrat at the moment. And Austin Delgado, who also stayed out a little longer, currently rounds out the top 10.
There is one thing that I did want to say is, as I kind of think about it a little bit, think about this for a minute. Zach Rogers, he left the league last season. He won his championship, and then he left. He was done. He didn't want to come back, and he didn't want to race. He was happy with what he got, and I thought that he was going to be riding off into the sunset. Well, here he is. He's back in the league. He's running races, and I don't know. I don't know if the fire is there that necessarily he wants to beat Jovan Anderson necessarily. It still was early in the season. But all the same, he's being really, really passive right now. Just kind of following, but not making any aggressive moves.
Yeah, that's, he's probably just trying to save his stuff right now. But at the moment, look at the closing rate and how much Chris Emery and Natan Amoredo have already closed the gap. Almost half a second quicker the last lap. This time around, it's I think Zach Rogers just ran the exact same lap time to the 1,000th as his previous lap. That time it was only about a 10th and a half, but still.
And looking at it, even though I do not have a number in terms of what lap it was, the fastest lap of this entire race, the 36 in Natan Amoredo, 36.457.
Guys, things are spread out right now. We know that pretty much the entire field has to make at least one more trip to pit road, but I've been crunching the numbers here. Remember, Tristan Allen was the last guy to come down pit lane. He came down at the completion of lap 51, which means he would have to make it a total of 29 laps on what he's got left in the tank. Fuel number we were given is somewhere between 22 to 23 laps. So could he save those 6 laps possibly? One good thing about not being out on the track and being up here in the booth, I get to sneak in and see what's happening in the cockpit of these drivers. He is clutching in these corners. He might have just made his last pit stop of the day back on lap 51. Everybody else might have to come to pit lane at least one more time. Could have some fuel strategy playing out here in the closing stages. And remember, if this race gets shortened, it may be even fewer laps that Tristan Allen has to save.
Oh, and now he's behind Henry Nova in the 66, which will actually help his fuel mileage even more. So if he stays on the lead lap, oh boy, this could get interesting. Now he's the last car in the lead lap, so that might be in jeopardy. But at the same time, he's just got to keep it clean. But we'll see. We're coming to 20 laps to go this time around. I'm also curious to see how the 93 and the 6 are going to compare against the 52 and the 36 as the run goes on, given how hard it looks like the 52 has been pushing his tires. I will say, though, that as far as whoever does need to make one more pit stop, they can do it whenever they want to at this point in time. It probably won't be until maybe the 10 to go range. I almost wonder if 2 tires might even be the winning call, assuming that no one's able to save fuel like Tristan Allen might be trying. But that strategy did end up winning Tyler Mallon the race last season. Could it maybe pay off again?
The furthest that these guys that are pushing up here at the front can possibly go, I think, is lap 72 before they absolutely have to duck onto pit road. If any of these guys back here are saving, I'll be generous and say maybe they can make it to lap 75, but I don't really think any of these drivers up here at the front are going to be able to make it without having to come pit road at least one more time. And yeah, I'm on board with the 2-tire strategy, because you're going to be anywhere from 5 to 7 laps short. You're probably going to have to take on maybe only half a can, maybe possibly a can. Why not? Don't spend that extra time on pit road. If you're going to change tires, just change those rights, get out there.
At one time amount on the race last season, Jovan Anderson closed the gap on the last lap last season to trying to make it interesting, but just ran out of time. Blake, again, you've run more races than anyone of us in this league. How would you say that a strategy like that could maybe play out?
I'm assuming you're referring to Tristan Allen. I'm sorry, I was a little distracted.
That's okay. Maybe taking 2 tires versus 4 on this final stop.
Well, I guess it depends on really what 2 tires you took. If you're going on the inside, that is definitely going to help a little bit because the car is naturally going to want to pull up the racetrack. And you may be able to get a slightly better corner arc in, but at the same time, if you take the right side tires, that at least provides you a little bit more lateral grip. It's really complex to say. Personally speaking, when it comes to me, if I really decide to go for a 2-tire pit stop, I'm going for right side tires. That's going to help me the most in the cornering, and that's also going to be the tire that's going to wear the most, but I'm still going to be really, really concerned about the left sides.
I've got my choice. Just change my front tires. Leave my rear tires the way they
I
are.
like the sound of that.
Oh, if only that was an option.
If only. Side by side here for second. Neither driver wanting to give. Chris Emery is saying, hey, I see that 93 up there. We're running out of laps. Let's get it going. As Amaguito getting awfully close to the rear of the 52. And Sides and Goss are there too, so we got a top 6 pretty much under a blanket here. There goes the 36 for third.
One thing that I did want to say is going back to the earlier comment regarding the race shortening, we are right now just a few seconds away from 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are on lap 66 at the moment. I think we will be able to get this race into completion without needing to have the race being shortened based off of the current times that they are setting.
And that is what we all want to see, a race that goes through the end. Of course, this is IMRC, and we know the history for dramatic finishes. So who knows if maybe that late race caution might end up coming into play. Emery actually backs off there. He's going to fall to 6th. And he's actually going to come down pit road. Oh, boy, short pit. Oh, if he gets it down to speed. Oh.
I don't think he did. I think when I was looking at his telemetry, it looked like he was going about 73 miles an hour right when the line hit.
He was somewhere in the 60s on his first pit stop, and yet he apparently got away with it. There's a couple other guys. Looks like maybe also opting for that strategy. Noah Degenhart, I think that was the 99. I can't get to him. Oh, no, it was not the 99. I don't know who it was. They are not
for the 52.
4 tires.
4 tires.
Alrighty, so now he's going to be pushing for what it's worth. They just got by Tristan Allen to put him a lap down.
So, one thing that I like on that strategy and one thing I don't like. The one thing I do like is we saw how aggressive he was getting onto pit road the first time. Coming down pit lane by himself, he doesn't have to worry about somebody breaking in front of him. He's able to attack that commitment line as hard as he wants to. The thing that I'm not on board with is the fact that he is going to be giving up a lot of time to these race leaders based on the fact he's going to be coming out all by himself. Draft does come into play into the lap times that you turn around here, and so these guys that are all running nose to tail, benefiting from the draft of each other, they're going to be running faster lap times than he is. I'm not necessarily certain that fresh tires are going to counter the draft laps that these drivers are putting down, despite the fact they're doing it on older tires.
Well, we'll be able to find out here. Let's see. The leaders have been running 37/8 the last couple laps. We'll keep that in mind as Dejon Weeks also comes down pit road there. We might catch a glimpse of that. Chris Emery with actually some lap traffic in front of him that he's going to have to navigate. Or I shouldn't say lap traffic, but there are going to be a lot. Oh boy, we almost see Austin Delgado go for a spin, but he keeps it going. And Emery has turned it loose.
Lapped the 80 of Tristan Allen, by the way, so I don't think the strategy is going to work out for him now. He had to kind of keep his car on the lead lap if he was going to make it the rest of the way. I think that at least the 52 would still cycle around ahead of him with where he's running. Ooh, Will Goss got the wall there. One thing I'm wondering here now, is the age-old debate. Is Michigan, is Auto Club, are they speedways or are they super speedways? Well, a lot of ways they are like super speedways. They carry over 200 miles per hour. They've got the 55 mile per hour pit speed and all that. And with the possibility of 2-tire strategy, when it's a fuel-only or 2-tire strategy at Daytona or Talladega, what's the one thing your crew chief always tells you? Don't slide those tires. And that's something these guys are going to have to be aware of here when they come down to pit lane the closer we get to the end of this race, if they are going to change just rights.
Well, we just took 10 laps to go. Will Goss has now also come down pit road. I'm going to check really quick on the 52's lap time. He just ran a 36.9. He is definitely going faster than these leaders. He might actually be able to unlap himself if they don't come in sooner. Looks like Shane Sides, maybe. No, not that lap quite yet.
In the 48, he's coming in.
Tristan Allen's actually sticking with the 36.24 right now. Yep, there's LaPrade. That looks like Delgado as well. And this could actually really spice things up for these leaders. There's the 27 coming out. So he will be a lap down at the moment. Shane Sides might get at it a little bit here with the 36 of Amoedo. We are within 10 to go. We are at 8 to go at the stripe this time by.
I like where the 27 merged out. He's still with that lead group. So it's very likely that he'll still be with the lead group, maybe even the race leader when everybody else hits pit lane.
I'm just going to say, look where he came out in relation to the 52, and 52 is going to try to pass him! But a big block!
Oh, big boy. Oh, big boy.
These guys know. These guys know it might be between the two of them for this win.
36 is not wanting to yield. Oh, we might either have to go 3 wide or someone's going to get pinched.
Oh, my goodness. I don't...
I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
52 is using the 36 as a pick. He's going to get by the 27. 27 gets hit with the 36.
No!
Oh, man, there might be some unpleasantries between him and the 36. Shane Size now down pit road.
I get what the 27 was trying to do. I get what the 36 was trying to do. Unfortunately, that was just the worst timing this late in the race to have either side of that happen.
Oh, man, he's got a lot of side damage. A little more clutch in there from the 80, so he might still be trying. Yeah, now there you see the 6 pull down to the inside. And looks like the 93 is going to do the same. And so unless they're pitting here, I mean, maybe they're just being just playing the cautious game of being like, all right, we'll just let him by here. But based on their lines, they're both coming in.
And I think their hands are forced. They've got to go with...
Whoa! Look at Rogers! Oh! Oh, he hit the wall.
Anderson really smoked it coming onto pit lane as well. I think their hands are forced. They've got to go with 2 tires because the 4 tires that Chris Emery has right now and the fact that he was behind them, if not almost passing them to unlap himself, everything is playing out into his favor right now.
He's gotten way ahead of Shane Sides. And Goss is way back after getting that hit. And they're both ahead of Tristan Allen, so unfortunately that strategy's not going to work out for him. Might gain him quite a bit of track position if he's able to make it work. Rogers actually looks like maybe he and Amoedo took 2. Anderson with 4 possibly.
Very slow stop there for the 93, you're right.
And Emery passes them all with ease. So Chris Emery may have just won this race with that strategy call. They're breezed by the 32. Coming to 5 laps to go this time by.
Gotta say, I do feel bad for the 27 because I think he probably would be right on his tail. But if he can continue the pace with it, second place, as much as that hurts, that is going to be a good point stay for him.
Absolutely.
As the 67 spins on the inside grass, no caution otherwise.
They just split Tristan Allen 3 wide there. Going by him, Tristan Allen pretty much falls to 7th now with that. So not going to be the race winning strategy, but definitely some track position gained, important points gained. So that's all pretty big right there. Zach Rogers trying to hunt them all down.
Hey guys, I got something important to tell you. Look at the leader is. The 14's clutching.
Oh, Jeff Dixon!
Jeff Dixon is on leader and he's got about 12 seconds ahead. Now he is clutching super hard. I don't think he's going to be able to win this week, but he's trying.
If you've got to win in the bank, why not try something unorthodox? Why not?
He's taking 3 laps to go, and he's got a whole corner ahead of everybody else. I didn't even realize. What?
He's in the corner. He's got a couple of corners. I think he was coming out of 4 when Emery was entering into 3.
I can't tell if he's run out of gas or if he still has fuel left in the tank.
I think he's just clutching that hard right now.
I'm gonna go on board because I gotta hear this.
Fuel pressure's still at 9, according to the cockpit cam on that 14 car. He's just clutching it midway down the back straightaway. He is clutching that thing.
He's running out of time though. He's got goodness.
He needs to just go flat out like on this lap.
Yeah, he needs to go.
He's clutching again there in 4.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
He lost.
Caution
out.
flag.
He lost
Caution's
5
out.
more seconds. Caution! Oh my gosh, no way! And it's for the Goss and Zach Rogers involved.
Unfortunately, I think that just killed Dixon's. Maybe not. I don't know if that hunt or helped Dixon. The positive is he probably is now not going to run out of gas, and then subsequently, he still kind of needs to stay outside.
Well, here's the thing though: if they shorten the race because of this, I think he just won it. If we go into green white checkered, I think that he's screwed. Oh goodness, looks like Goss tried to block the 6.
But here's the thing: it is 9:09 p.m. We still have 20 minutes of racing. I don't think we're going to have an issue where it ends up taking up all that last 20 minutes. I don't think that we're going to have multiple green-white checker attempts.
I'm not sure. I mean, we'll see. How much fuel does he actually have in reserve?
Oh, that's what I've got. That's what's making me scratch my head.
Well, Emery just passed him. And I'm not sure.
I think he's coming down.
Yeah, he's coming down. Okay, and Dixon's going to be able to get fuel here. So he just gained a ton of track position no matter what happens at this point. Shane Sides is going to be 3rd. Regardless, Natan Amoito will be 4th. And then Don LaPrade now 5th with that trouble between the 6 and the 27. I don't know how happy those guys are going to be with each other at this point.
There's some words exchanged for sure, because bear in mind, when the contact was made between Natan and Will that sent Will up into the wall, then the hit that came from Zach Rogers that sent the 27 around, 36 and 6 are teammates, and so 27 feels there might be a little bit of a vendetta against him there. And I was actually watching that on the back straightaway. Will threw a little bit of a block, but he was definitely clear on the 6, and then the 6 just never got off, punted him there into turn 3. So I'm not really sure what that's all about, but man, a good day goes from bad to worse there for Will Goss.
66 looks like he might get the lucky dog. He did pit there, so he'll be back on the lead lap. Some strategy here. Dixon with maybe just 2 tires, as is Gilvin. I think Jovan Anderson has stayed out. And Teixeira has stayed out as well.
That was actually going to be my next thing that I was going to say. Did Teixeira stay out?
He did.
Okay.
I know Anderson did. I know for sure that Anderson and he's on 4 fresh tires. Well, fairly fresh. They're a couple laps old. Teixeira, I don't know what his deal is going to be. I don't know when he pitted exactly. Dixon and Gilvin, both with fast cars, but we'll see what their tires are going to do for them. Chris Emery is now 5th. And well, what else can I say? It's IMRC. What else did you expect? Other than some absolute, other than the absolute most excitement that you can ask for toward the end of the race. We are officially going into overtime here.
I do want to say something real quick, and I'm not trying to blow my own ego or anything like that, but the 16, that's a Warren racing car. If he wins,
I mean, I will.
I'm gonna be some hooting and hollering.
So what you're saying is, to me, don't talk about him. Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we all know what happened with you and the 32 earlier.
Yep. Okay. All right. Not mentioning him at all.
I will admit though, if this, I have to say it. If the 16 pulls us off, it will be the upset of all upsets. No offense to him, but he just has been nowhere near the front. But now here he is with a shot. But we'll have to see. Is this even going to be the only attempt at a green-white checkered? Will we have time for any more attempts?
We are encroaching on 9:15, so we would have 15 more minutes all the same. So
9:30 is the cutoff, basically.
it is a very tight cutoff right there. So
Okay.
maybe a couple of minutes extra, but I don't know.
Going into overtime at the second race of the season. It was bound to come down to that. I thought that Dixon was going to be absolutely swamped. But now, just like that, here we go. He's fourth. Anderson and Teixeira on the front row. My heart feels like it's about to burst out of me.
We're starting to get an idea of why the Under 2003 gods didn't want them to run Auto Club tonight.
I can see why.
Here we go.
Here we
green
go.
flag. 16 pulls out ahead. Little
Oh,
wiggle.
he kind of spun his tires a little bit there. Dixon up the middle.
3 wide, 3 different sections of the field right there.
Whoa.
Oh boy.
Sides
touchy.
getting a little close.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
Teixeira's going to start to drop back. Dixon, a little iffy there.
The 69, 16
Oh,
hits
oh,
the
he got
wall.
on the wall. There they go.
Big crash.
Oh, big block by the 93 on the 69.
And the 59, the 52, I think, just got hit really, really hard in the back end.
Chris Wetz and Shane Side spun down towards the inside wall.
Emery just retired.
Oh, what a shame.
I think we're going to have enough time to do it all again. But, oh my gosh, Gilvin had a huge run on Anderson.
Yeah, believe it or not, I thought it might have been the 63 that got the 52 of Emery. Nobody hit the 52 after that spin.
Really?
He saved it, kept it pointed in the right direction. I'm surprised he actually retired out of this race. He had a very competitive car, as we saw.
I guess maybe
Still
just
have at
thinking,
least 2 more attempts at an overtime green-white checkered. I'm really surprised that he decided to park it then and there.
I guess just, I guess if he's not going for the championship, just going for wins, I guess he figured, well, I lost that much ground just like that, so I guess that's at Shane's sides after gaining all that ground back there. There it all goes. Chris Wetz collected. And I think that's it. Like you said,
Yeah.
that's pretty, for the time of the race and the situation that they were in, that's pretty impressive to see only that few cars involved.
Now, one thing I did want to go ahead and say is this is a field of 28 race cars tonight. We thankfully, all things considered, there have not been more retirements, but we got 21 cars now running on the lead lap. The 27 just gained his lap back. Well, I'm kind of shocked with how all over the place this race has been.
To your point, Blake, yeah, most of our retirees are drivers that had solo spins and decided they just didn't want to spin anymore, and so they parked it early. We haven't had a whole lot of drivers retire out of the race for multi-car incidents.
Nope.
Not at all. Even the multi-car incidents that we have seen, they've kept going. Oh goodness, look at this.
Yep.
I think they did with the
It's the choose cone.
hello fourth place, just like that.
If you're up front, you want the bottom. If you're in the back, yeah, you'll take that track position, sure.
Just like that. Austin Delgado is now fourth. Cody Lamas is sixth, and Tristan Allen is eighth. And I feel like, woo, okay. Attempt number 2. I think we might have time for one more after this. It looks like we're probably going to end up going to lap 90 before 9:30, regardless of whatever happens. Gonna also send a shout out. I'm just checking back here. David Alvarez is now 11th, or scored 11th. Looks like that's roughly is going to be where he is. And we have not really mentioned him at all this race. And just like that, there he is. Right up there. Goss and Rogers are side by side.
21 of our original 28 are still running, and every one of them coming back here to the second overtime attempt are on the lead lap.
I only ask for one prediction from you guys. Will this be the last green white checker?
Yes.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I saw him 3 wide 3 different occasions in the field going into turn 1. I think we got another attempt coming here.
We got a guy on old tires here leading them, and Jovan Anderson. Here we go once again, though. Lap 85. Look at the Pratt!
Snap. Stacks up a little bit. He's going to throw a hard block down to the inside, though.
Look at LaPrade going way down there, really close as the 36 and the 48. Delgado doing a great job of holding his own up there at the moment.
Oh, got contact in the back, and Chris Wetz collects Teixeira. Up and over goes a 16, 67 collected as well. Rack him up and do it again.
I think we have one more try at this.
I didn't talk about him, Blake, I swear.
Hey, you know what? In fairness, he didn't flip over. He
That's
just
true.
got up in the air, and then the roof flaps and body just threw it back down on the ground and flat spotted a tire. But hey, there's worse ways for that to go.
I would say so. So I will also admit that Anderson did a great job of getting away there. He actually got a little bit of a gap on everyone else behind him. I think that he was praying that that caution didn't happen because he had it going there pretty good.
So, one thing that I'm noticing here, with all those drivers, Dixon and Delgado, that all jumped up there to the top side on that last choose cone, they now are going to be up here inside of the top 5. Now, they've got the option, if they so choose, of getting down to the inside line, lining up in 2nd and 4th position. So, honestly surprised we didn't see more of our race leaders back on the last choose cone opportunity. Just kind of invert themselves top to bottom, because they've actually lost a couple of spots of track position than what they had prior.
I guess they figured that the inside was just where you had to be. I'm not sure if I'm just looking at this replay here. I'm not sure if the 16 got a tap from the 24 or not. If that was on the 24, I would almost think that the 24 might be needing to park it here pretty soon. What do you mean a crap show? This is awesome.
Pit road is open, so this is the last opportunity to make those final adjustments. Well, I guess you really can't make adjustments, but fresh tires, fresh fuel.
Let's see if anyone goes for the tire gamble. I just don't think that you're going to have enough time, and it looks like everyone, at least running toward the front, will be staying out here. A couple runners really far back, well, mainly those involved in the caution. Teixeira and Wetz.
Okay, the 14 blinked for a minute, so I thought that was going to be the end of his race, but thankfully no one got destroyed.
Oh man, if Dixon starts having internet issues at this point, which I have been the victim of myself. This is it. This is the final attempt. It's bar none. We're going to lap 90. If a caution comes out on lap 89, that's that. But they might even be going here this time. I see them all double wide.
They are going this time. But if we don't get to the white, if a caution comes out before they take the white, field is frozen, race is over. If they get to the white flag, then all bets are off, and they're racing to that checkered flag.
Hoping that they're able to make it in that case. We got a good mixed bag of manufacturers up here. You got Toyota, Ford on the front row, and then it'll be Toyota and Chevy. And Austin Delgado doing a great job up here. Held his own there on that restart. We'll see if he's able to make anything happen. Of course, we all know how aggressive Natan Amoedo is probably going to be. Done the Prad with the aggressive move on that last restart, though. That's Cody Lamas actually in 6th. My bad. So he might be maybe able to make some noise. I think everyone's going to want to make some noise here. Who am I kidding?
Well, took this many laps to get to this point.
This is it.
Put your cards on the table.
This is it. Will we make it to the white? Or won't we? Here we go.
Flag.
Oh man, great jump there by Dixon. And Amoedo, just like I said, but Gilman's having none of that.
Gilman's going to do everything he can to try and pull a rabbit out of a hat.
I think a lot of these guys are. Dixon, not in the preferred lane there on the outside.
Dixon, I don't think he's doing as well on the outside lane. I don't think he's got the speed, or he doesn't have the control like he does on the inside.
Whoa!
Pass on the inside.
Oh, we got a spinner. Big wreck. Caution's out.
Big wreck and the
4 or
caution
5
is
cars
up.
towards the back.
And it is official for Joe and Anderson. Gonna win it at Michigan.
Chris Wetz.
Again.
Turn 2
Oh my
of
gosh.
Ashton Champion, Andrew Gonzalez,
Alexander.
and I believe David Alvarez. They were also involved.
Alexander Gonzalez all
Alexander
torn up.
Gonzalez, yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Looks like you may have actually been one of the first to go around here.
Gonna
Oh,
be
man.
honest with you, I'm sure the 69 is fuming to be that close and to not make it.
And I'm sure that he was hoping to have a shot at him if that had stayed green. But just not meant to be. It looked like a big run there from the 67, just got into the 63's rear and sent him around. And that was that.
Ooh, Dixon blinking a little bit. Hopefully he still can maintain connection enough that he will get that fourth place points.
A first and a fourth, a pretty darn good way to start the season for Jeff Dixon. Almost pulled a rabbit out of a hat, like you said there, with that fuel strategy. I gotta say though, Cody Lamas fifth, Austin Delgado in sixth. A couple wild cards there, with some great runs. It's going to be official here at the stripe, with Anderson and Gilvin first and second. Natan Amorito with a great finish in third. Of course, we mentioned Dixon, Lamas, and Delgado. Dunlap Pratt in seventh, a solid run. And Dejan Weeks getting right from eighth.
Henry Nova had a target in mind. It had to be Dejan.
And yep, the standard post-race shenanigans have ensued. But hey, did you expect anything else from an IMRC race than a crazy sprint to the finish? And we had a couple of them here.
Tell you that late race caution there saved a lot of drivers' races. I mean, Robbie Gilvin was trying some short pit strategy. He brings it home in second place. We saw Jeff Dixon try and save enough fuel to get to the end. That caution saved him, get him a top 5 finish. And you mentioned like Cody Lamas as well as Austin Delgado. I mean, these are drivers that would have probably finished up inside the top 10, but certainly not where they ended up finishing here should we have stayed green to the end.
Yeah, they just did what they had to do to try to get up there. It's going to be a heartbreaker, though, for a couple of guys. Shane Sides, Will Goss, Zach Rogers all had great cars, great speed. We saw at least that Rogers finished 14th.
And here we go, victory burnout for the 93.
Yeah, I guess I should get that, shouldn't I? Looked like Noah Degenhardt and Henry Nova rounded out the top 10. And burning it down. Winner at Homestead, the final race of the season, last season, and gets it done here at Michigan, is Jovan Anderson. If there was one guy of the front runners that just always pretty much had it going all night, it was that Amico number 93. Burning it down. Sure, happy to bring that one home for his guys over at Bomb Squad Racing as well.
Back-to-back wins at Michigan for the Toyota Camrys. Tyler Mallon in the Toyota won it last season.
That's true, and that guy right there burning it down finished second. And with that, on his way to the postseason, joining the 14 of Dixon.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Ain't not a problem. I'm sure that we'll get the opportunity to talk to Jovan here shortly. But man, what a thriller of a race. A lot of guys making it interesting. Thought that Chris Emery was going to be the one to bring it home there, even before I realized that Dixon was trying to stretch it. And hey, it's an IMRC race. What else do you expect?
Well, absolutely, and I mean, we saw a little bit of everything here today as well. We had those early yellow flags, not really anything major in terms of contact and damage sustained. We had that incident there where Nick Gunther had the connection problem. That was maybe like the big major thing towards the beginning of the race. Most of the other things were solo spins that didn't punch the field back up, so when things got spread out, we saw 2 rounds of green flag pit stops, almost a fuel strategy race, but we know the old adage, cautions breed cautions, and of course when it's towards the end of the race, no surprise that we had to use all 3 of our green, white, checkered overtime attempts. But I'll tell you one thing, Andrew, when you're a driver, especially when you're a league admin, the last thing you want to have, but the one thing as a commentator that you definitely want to have, are storylines heading into next week. And let me tell you, brother, we got a bunch of them.
Ain't that true? Oh man. I'm sure that I'm not going to look at the chat for stream's sake, knowing how maybe some people felt. I can only imagine maybe how the 27 and the 6 probably felt with each other. among others. There's plenty of them. We saw drama unfolding toward the end of last season. Now it's already starting to kick into high gear here. So
Yeah, we were told we were going to be at Auto Club at the start of the night. We then swapped over to Michigan, and by the end of the night, based off of the chat that's been going on, I kind of feel like we were at Martinsville or Bristol.
I could see that. Oh my goodness. We got a couple guys down there waiting to be talked to. I think we're probably going to start with the race winner who's still driving around the infield. Silva's doing his thing. We'll get him in here
User was moved to
a while.
Oh. Rip.
Hi there.
Hi.
Yeah, you're the one that, Rude, you're the one that's going and killing all the spectators. Why you run them over?
I was trying to find Victory Lane, and I never found it.
It is non-existent.
Well, see, we were supposed to be at Auto Club here tonight, so they didn't have time to prepare the Michigan Victory Lane. It's not even set up yet.
Yeah, that's not fun.
You're going to have to head to the hot dog stand that they got all set up there.
I guess I'll have to wait a while.
But no, for real though, a pretty dominant performance all in all. But you had a lot of competition behind you. They had their own deals happen to them throughout the night, and you had a lot of drama going on there. Those last like 10 laps even were just all over the place. I got to ask how it was from your perspective, and just how you were able to keep it together to get it done there at the end.
Oh, it was very nerve-wracking because of the green flag pit stop with only 6 laps to go. I knew a lot of people were probably going to take 2 tires and 1 can, or even no tires, and probably only a half a can of fuel. And I was going to do that too until I got into pit road. I would have made it, but I locked up the left front a little harder than I was comfortable with, so I kind of burned out that left front, and it was quite a bit in the yellow. So I decided to bite the bullet, take 4 there on the pit stop, and we were just going to go get as much as we could. I don't think we were going to get Emery because he had really good pit stops all night, and he was too far out there. I was just hoping I was going to get to everybody else. So I bit the bullet, but then the caution came out and the tables turned, so I took the chance the other way and caught some good brakes and held on.
Jovan, one thing I gotta ask you is, we know that when a driver is running behind another driver, they've got to be aware of that driver's lift points. Obviously, we know that with the aero package tonight, drivers will be dealing with aero tightness. Being in the draft, it makes you go into the corner a little bit faster than you want to, so you have to preserve that right front. With the number of laps that you spent out in front, what are some of the things that you, as the race leader, are thinking about?
Just paying attention and make sure that nobody behind me is getting any huge runs. And I had my teammates behind me there for a bit, so I was very fortunate. So I just did everything I could to nail my line going in, and just kept an eye out to make sure nobody got any huge runs on me. And that was pretty much all there was to it. I knew that I could defend if I needed to, because I tried that on the 25 early on in the race, and it was pretty tight in 1 and 2. So I just kept one eye in the mirror and one eye out front, and just managed to car the best I could.
Well, a freaking phenomenal job punching your ticket to the postseason. Should you choose to be gunning for that championship, I guess I'll ask any closing thoughts from you before we send you off.
I was going to say too, before I get to my closing thoughts, that the clean air was very effective too. So I kind of made up aerodynamically through the corners what they were making up in the straightaway there after a while as well. The car was definitely a rocket out front, and I just want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast, putting on the show. Thanks to everybody in the race for keeping the race clean. I had a blast. I know a lot of other people had a blast too. Unfortunate circumstances always happen in racing. drama's part of racing. You know, things happen, but I hope that everybody just takes that with a grain of salt and moves on to next week, and you know, hopefully, we'll even put on a better show next week. So thank you guys, thank you Shane. Shout out to all my BSR guys over at Bomb Squad and Will's Trucking, Brian, Kathy Boyles. I know I don't run that scheme particularly for this league, but I love you guys, and you know, just thanks to everybody for what they do, and you know, looking forward to the chase and going for hopefully another one.
We'll be keeping an eye on it. Great job, man. Absolutely awesome.
Thank you, bud.
Race winner, Joe Van Anderson. Getting her done. We got a couple more guys down here. I guess we'll go ahead and get the runner-up, the pole sitter. I think we kind of neglected to mention that too much. Pole sitter and runner-up of the night, Robbie Gilvin. Given, I mean, you ran well at the beginning, kind of fell back in the middle and toward the end there, and then between some strategy calls and cautions falling your way, you were able to get up there with a great shot at the win. Coming up just short, but still a phenomenal second place finish, man. How you feeling?
Sweet and salty. No, it was fun. I figured I'd part my stuff up, kind of race with Natan over there, doing about a third of the way through, and then fell behind 71. And he was on an alternate strategy trying to get position. I figured I'll just tag along with him. And I did that for pretty much the balance of the rest of the race. And if the 6th and the 27th or whoever hadn't gotten together, I probably would have gotten like the top 15 or at least 11th or something. That caution really lucked out on it. And I took 2 tires on right sides, obviously. And then I got really lucky because everybody kept killing each other behind me, Rwandan genocide style, but yeah, don't know how I did it. Michigan's one of my better tracks, but I still don't know how it happened.
Well, you're the one that put it in position at the end of the day. Seth, you got anything?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you here, Robbie. Obviously, with the long green flag run, we saw you guys had to make a couple of green flag pit stops. And when most of the field was coming down pit road that first time, we were trying to do the calculation, see if anybody could make it on fuel. Had most of the field about 5 to 7 laps short. Was there any point that you thought about maybe trying to save those possible 5 laps to make it to the end, or was there just too much speed that was lost trying to clutch?
I didn't care. If I ran out, I ran out.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, really. I was more concerned about hardware more so than fuel. Because I can baby it if the tires are worn. I can baby it around and then get the fuel good to go straight away. I might be a lap down or whatever, but like I said, with that alternate strategy that I was doing with wets, not by design or anything, but it ended up working out.
Worked out pretty well. A runner-up finish there. I know that you were able to win your way into the playoffs last season, and a good haul of points here tonight. Maybe you won't have to win, but maybe make a run at it. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're able to do, man.
You sure about that?
Hey,
Just on a side note too, I know there's a lot of people that don't like when schemes are put with manufacturers that they don't go with. But I'll tell you what, I dig that Mark Martin throwback on the Toyota. That looks really good.
I do.
I mean, it wasn't really supposed to be a throwback. I just wanted Don LaPrade to do something with the 69 and Viagra and the Yoda.
I was going to say.
I tell you what, the Viagra car is always driven hard. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, make of that what you will. I do have to say this before I let you go.
Don't snort it though; you'll turn into Pinocchio.
Oh God.
I'll take that under investment.
Y'all better keep that in.
Quote of the night. The 69 Viagra car. There is nothing better than that. Great job though, honestly, man. Pole position, second place, and quote of the night.
Yeah.
But for real though, good job, man, and good luck next week.
Yeah.
User was moved.
The runner-up finisher, Robbie Gilvin. Don't turn into Pinocchio, folks. Oh my goodness.
I've heard many a public service announcement. That's got to be one of the top.
You heard it here first, folks. Golly. Memes are made here. That's a meme. I want to see Pinocchio on that car one of these races.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man.
Which Pinocchio we getting?
The no sugar Dr. Pepper.
We're going to get Zach Rogers in here next. We're always saving the time for last, for obvious reasons.
User was
But
moved to your channel.
he's waiting down there next. Zach Rogers, fast car, man. You done good. But bit of a skirmish there toward the end. I guess I'll just ask your perspective on it, and but also on a more positive note, just how the car was for most of the night.
Oh, the setup was great. It drove really nice and loose in the beginning of a run. Made you have to drive it, and then it would get tight near the end of the run. You'd start pushing the right front. Really had to make you work the wheel, make you save it. I was definitely maybe over pushing it a little bit there. I was getting tight at the end of runs, and just kind of had to fall in line in the draft with Joven and Natan there, do a little teamwork. As far as the end of the race goes, you know, we're racing hard there, and Will put a block on me for fifth, and I just kind of kept my foot in it for a second there, and felt like maybe there was a little bit of bumper grab there, and it upset my car, and I was trying to get my foot off the gas, but it swung back right across his bumper, and we spun out. So definitely had a little bit of a heated conversation there with Will during the cautions, but people are going to think what they're going to think at the end of the day. So it is what it is.
Seth?
Yeah, I mean, we saw those late race cautions come out there, bunch the field back up, but it was looking like we might possibly be having this thing going green all the way to the end. We saw that you cycled around to about second or third there with about, about 16, 17 laps to go. Did you guys have enough speed in that pack to be able to run down the 52? Did draft play enough into lap times that a bunch of guys could run down a single car, or was the setup just the way that it was? Did that actually not play a factor at all?
Well, we were racing to lap 80, so we were racing with the mindset of 5 to 6 to go. So, I mean, I took right sides only, Natan took right sides only, and Joven locked up the left front going in, so he just took 4, and it worked out for him there at the end with all the green-white checkers. But there was definitely a little bit of conversation regarding if we should have taken no tires and then just a half a can. Clearly that would have been the wrong choice. But of course, at the end of the day, it didn't really matter for me. I had to pit for damage from my incident with Will.
I had a great car all night, though. A little skirmish, and like I said, people might think what they think, but at the end of the day, I mean, hey, it's racing. These things are going to happen. That's at least my little take on that. I guess I will ask any closing thoughts and expectations heading into Vegas.
Vegas is usually a pretty good track over here. I think the last time I raced here in Vegas, it was season 9. I don't exactly remember how that race went for me. I think I got spun on a restart, but good win for Joven, man. Like, we were up there all night, you know, no one can take that from us. We were top 2, top 3 all night long. I don't recall blocking for position at all until maybe the end of runs there. I had to just do a little defensive driving, but I wouldn't really call that blocking. That was just kind of pulling in lines and following the draft. So I want to thank Natan for letting me drive for his team, Moto Performance, and we'll get Joven in a Ford one of these races so that he's actually a legit teammate here and not driving Toyotas. But yeah, it was a good race. I'd say I had fun overall.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And all I would say to TV land out there, see, when you conduct an interview, you don't constantly shove negative crap into people's faces. Thank you, though, Zach, and best of luck into the next week.
Thanks for the broadcast, man.
Hey, happy to do so. So Zach Rogers, I think finished 14th from what I saw. Tough break there, but he has plenty of time, and he's able to wheel it around quite a bit. I think we'll get these last three guys in here. We're gonna do them in a group, so it's about to get a little crowded in here. Sorry, I had to take that little stab at the fact that y'all ever notice that every time something happens between like two drivers, the media is always like, "Hey, what happened there between you and this guy?" Come on, that's ridiculous. Sorry. Anyways, let's get these last guys here. We got Dunlaprad,
User was moved to your channel.
Natan,
User was
and
moved to
Tristan's
your
also
channel.
down here.
User was
We're getting y'all in a group here, but we'll try to go one at a time. I'm going to start with our normal, I guess you could say, advocator for these streams. Natan finishing third. A little chaotic fashion there at the end, but you had pretty good speed throughout the night, and a good haul of points there at the end. How you feeling?
Man, right now I've got mixed emotions for bullshit going on. I'm sorry for the language though, but well, first of all, our team is a Ford powerhouse right now. Like, even though Jovin is driving a Toyota, but trust me, he will be in a Ford soon.
Zach said the same thing.
Man, this is like the second race we've been like 1, 2, 3 for a good amount of laps, you know, and that just shows how great our team is, and I'm very proud about it, you know, just to get these guys so late on the silly season, and now it's working so well, you know, like we are working so well. It's such a chemistry going on. So I'm really happy about it. We just got a playoff spot for Jovin. He just dominated that race, really deserved it, and I'm very happy for him. Zach drove a great race. Unfortunately, things didn't turn out his way, and well, I came up with a P3. I'm pretty good with that. It's early season, just decent points, decent race, and our team is like, oh man, it's so great, man, so great. So, and the other side though, there's so much drama going on, you know, and yeah, it's just it's unfortunate. Some people need to fix their attitude, man. Like, really, you know, but yeah, it was a great race, and yeah, I'm just pumped for the season because I know our team is, man, it's a powerhouse, man, and I'm so proud about it.
Hey, we got every right to be proud, that's for sure. Great job on finishing P3 there. I'm going to jump to our guy Dunlaprad here. Finished, what, 7th, 8th, something like that. But you also had a pretty good view of a lot of the stuff that was going on track there. You had a pretty solid car all night. But again, a lot of stuff going on in front of you. I guess what your perspective would be on some of the stuff that happened on track, and how you're feeling as far as your result tonight.
Well, just a public announcement. I peed my pants after nearly getting wiped out by Will at turn 3 with 3 to go or so. So sorry about that.
At least it's not what happened in the lights
Sorry
race.
to Alpine Stars. I have to, probably have to order a new fire suit. But I mean, there was just a lot of stuff going on. I was just really those last couple of restarts. I think after the first overtime attempt, I had to be conservative. I really wanted to go for the win because we were definitely one of the guys up front, that had the freshest of tires. But I don't know if it was really worth the risk, considering that you had a couple of really aggressive drivers that were up there in the mix too, whether they were on old or fresh tires. So it was just more of a, I don't know. I mean, it's best educated guess is the best thing to say where you want to go. But I mean, it was quite an experience. I will say that. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be able to race up front. I think that's what I've been aiming to do more this year. I think I said last week, trying to race up front more and trying to get the experience while I can, because we got 10 races in the regular season and we got the playoffs, which includes 6 races, and So I think tonight we definitely showed that we definitely have the speed. But I just need to sharpen my skills to be able to cap it all, because honestly I did not do a great job on that. But we managed to get a 7th place out of it. So now in the top 5, which I wish we were definitely up there for the fighting for the win. But I mean, 7th place. I mean, that's a good chunk of points. So I'll take it as it is.
A solid run for sure. Now I'm gonna go to Tristan here, Tristan Allen. I think like 11th, 12th range. And I will ask though, were you good on fuel there?
Yes, I actually was. I would have probably been running out on off of 4 or maybe even 3, but I would have been good enough to make it to the line.
That is quite the interesting. I'll just go and say it. That's quite the ballsy strategy that you went for there. I guess I'll just ask where you pulled that from, where the inspiration was.
Well, I wasn't really running up front, and with being in the accident on the restart, and with having to pit for damage, I realized I had a lap over most of the field on fuel. So I used it towards my going 1 lap farther on the green run. So I used that 1 lap, hoping for the best, and everyone was saying they're like, oh, 4 laps short, and I'm here with like 2 to 3, going lap to lap. So I'm just like, if I save enough, I could actually get it. Ended up, obviously I didn't think I'd get a win with how far I fell back, but it still would have gotten me to the end of the race. So happy it worked what it needed to. I got the restart higher than what I would have if I just ran a normal thing.
It ends up P12 at the end of it. So good stuff. It was really exciting to watch. That was pretty awesome, and looking forward to seeing what you got for left and right Twix. I'll jump to our last interview here, who decided to join without me moving him. I'm kidding. Cody Lamas, I will ask, P5, where'd that come from?
I like to say I just usually what I do. I was just kind of chilling most of the race and letting everybody do their thing. And lo and behold, we just ended up being in the front at the end. It worked out. And honestly, I feel like I just always do this. I just kind of chill and cruise up when it matters. And luckily it worked out.
Worked out pretty darn well. A great haul of points there. How's that make you feel heading into Vegas?
It was good. I definitely wanted. I was kind of a goal for a top 10. Most of that race, I kind of hung out, and then me and Dunn pitted together. And I was like, oh, let's follow Dunn, and we'll cruise to a nice, easy top 10. And then we started catching that pack in front of us before they all wrecked. Then I was like, well, I guess the race is on now. The caution came out, and then a couple people on the choose cone, I believe on I think the first overtime, a bunch of people picked the bottom because they weren't aware that the choose cone was going on, and I went to the top and picked it up to like 4th, or I think it was 4th or 6th, and everyone kept picking the bottom, and the top it worked. Oddly surprised, and I can't complain.
I can't blame you. Ever since last season, I've always thought of you as Mr. Where Did He Come From? Keeping it clean, and tonight shows that. Great job. Well, I think we'll be wrapping up here shortly, but of course, as always, we'll get some closing thoughts from my two colleagues here. I guess Blake, we'll go and start with you.
Well, definitely an unexpected night across the board with everything that happened, to be completely honest. Good racing overall, a little disappointing that the race ended under caution, but next week we are headed out west. As to whether we will be at Auto Club Speedway or in Las Vegas is a big question mark right now. But we'll be having a race out west at a track that is either going to be 1.5 miles or longer, and I cannot wait to see what is going to happen.
Same here. Either Auto Club or Las Vegas usually makes for some pretty good racing, just like we saw tonight. Seth, your thoughts after what we saw go down?
I was flipping through some stats from the past couple of seasons at Las Vegas and everything, trying to see who some of the people to watch next week would be. And as I was doing that, started seeing some adjustments made to the schedule. Apparently, it looks like Auto Club is indeed where we're going to be going to next week. Auto Club in race 3, Las Vegas moving down to race 4, which actually is going to move Chicagoland, it would appear, as the penultimate race during the playoffs just before the season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway. So if that is the case, we're going to back-to-back 2-mile speedway / super speedways. That should be very interesting. And just one thing too, just give a shout out here tonight, because all of the IMRC races was the Austin Ogo Memorial 160, and so shout out there to Dane Stinson, as he has for his name now here in the IMRC races. Unfortunately, he hasn't made a Cup Series start, but we hope to see him back here at some point, maybe even as soon as next week at Auto Club. So a little shout out there for Austin Ogo.
Yeah, I'll credit there. I guess I should be mentioning whatever these races are called, because one of them, it's later in the season, but
Yeah.
one of them, I will wait until that day comes. But oh yeah, but now
Tune in October 25th.
Is that when it is?
That's when it is. Yep.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Maybe I'll do something special for that. I don't know. Probably not, because I'm lazy. But thank you, Seth and Blake, for joining me for this one once again. Hope to see you guys maybe at Auto Club or on track. Either way, that's going to be awesome. Natan, good luck for you as well, my man. Again, you've been also one of the driving forces behind these streams. I always thank you. And, of course, to all the drivers and to all the viewers, you guys are awesome. It's always great having you guys out here. On that note, though, I know he's going to do it, so Natan, I think he's dead.
I'm not in the mood tonight, so just go for it. I'm too pissed off for it, but yeah.
Now for bye.
What?
I told you I'm dyslexic. Anyway.
So you're dyslexic and you jinx people. All right,
Yep.
Good to know. I will.
It's a good 1-2 punch.
I will bear that in mind. Come next week, that bit with 32 will live on in infamy. Well, but for real though,
I would just say this though. Well, this season is gonna be great, so guys, don't miss it. And Andrew, go for it, man. Say your words.
we will see you all at Auto Club, not Las Vegas, next week. Same time, same place. Let's do it. Until then, take care, and bye for now.